Assalamu alaikum and welcome back into a new video in the Naskh script. In today's lesson we are going to talk about the kaf, lam and noon. We will start with the kaf, and we will start with a kaf that is called zindani. Now we used to call it wazdi, swan, when we were kids, but it's called zindani. Now this kaf is basically this shape, so it comes very long, just like this. We start by putting the 4 points for the top part, this part. It also goes 2 points high, this high part. Now to draw this, you have to hold the pen with a 45 degree and move down this way, because you have 4 corners here. You're moving from this corner all the way down to this corner, just like this. Now, the body itself extrudes 5 points from here. So, you've got this imaginary line where you stopped. You add a small circle here to curve downward, then go up to here, then back down. Because it's not straight, it's curvy. Then you come back with the same shape and you extrude it 2 points. And you finish it. Now, when you do it clearly, you could start practicing it by doing one, then doing a dot, then doing a line up and a line down, then doing another dot, then coming back up, then down, just like this. You could break it this way, so you will know how to control this curve where you have to go up and down, and this curve here. With a scale again, you have to use 4 points here with 2 points. You go down, you've got 5 points after this one, and you have to curve down, go up and stop. Now here it automatically be like 1 point high, so that when you go back it touches the line and then it continues by extruding 2 points from the edge here. Now the inside is uniform with thicknesses. It does not change thicknesses in the inside, unlike other scripts. This is how it looks like by itself. When it connects, it's the same shape. You simply add something here, for example kitab. If it connected to a ha or a letter that goes down, you have to sort of drag the end of it. Instead of going up, you go down like this, and you connect it to a ha or to a meme. And here is how it stops. For example, kahil, kaf, but you have to be very careful because this drop below the line, it has to be above the line. So again, you measure 2 dots for the lower part, the ha, then another 2 dots for this part, the kaf, and then another 2 dots for the high edge of the kaf. So here is where you have to start it. That's why scaling is important, because from here you know that you could start the kaf and it will automatically lead you to the proper positioning of the ha, as we can see here. And finish it whatever it is. Now this is the kaf that is called zindani. We have another kaf that comes at the beginning of a word that is called saifi, sword, yeah, sword kaf. This one is based on the lam alif, this lam alif. Now this one consists of 2 moves. The first one is going up, the second one is going all the way down. So we go up and then we go down. This width should be 3 points, just like this. Now if you continue it as a lam alif, it would look like this. But for the kaf, we stop here and we continue, for example, with the ra or whatever. Now after we finish this, as you can see here, from this line you take 2 points up to here and you draw this part of the kaf, the hat, the cap. Now this would be 2 points high, the cap, as you can see from here, and on the inside it's also 2 points high. This way how you govern the length of it. Now for this kaf, when something follows it, it comes inside. So for example, dal is a small letter, so it comes inside here, closes on it. If it connects to a ha, a special case for it, it sort of goes back, then like this, as we saw in the ha lesson. The kaf here connects like touching, so you've got this edge and it touches this edge. It does not go into this part, it touches the upper part of it. Also when we connect it to a mim, it connects the same way it connected to the ha. You stop here, you add a small tail, then you come back with the mim, this mim, and you add the hat for it. This is the kaf that comes, say, it comes with all letters. For example, if you had a ba, the ba would come in here. So for example, kaifa. Note how this sort of closes on this. So the lower part of the kaf, the inside, could contain some letters, and it looks prettier if done this way. Now there's another one when it connects to a letter that goes up, for example alif lam, lam alif. For that one, it starts to become shorter. It's basically a dal. So in the dal we learned that it's 3 points high. This is the same thing as a dal. You've got 2 points inside. You start from here. You rotate down. Now what you want to do is to go down to the midpoint, then start going up, because you want it to touch, as we can see here. This kaf, when a kaf connects to a lam or an alif or a kaf, like we saw in previous scripts, here it has to close. So in order to do that, you need to go down, then immediately switch back up before the end of the word. Because if you started rotating from here, you will end up outside, out of it. So you have to be careful when to start rotating. So you take 1 point down, then immediately start rotating upward. And the height of this alif afterwards would be 2 points, or the lam. And the kaf is the same thing. So these two would be 2 points high. So kalima, the word kalima, would be written like this. Kaf, go down then up. With this line comes this hat, the cap. Then we continue with the mim and tam al-wuda. But we just want to focus on this one. It's smaller, it's more delicate than the previous one. This and this. If you looked at the dal, you will see that the dal is the same size as this one. Meanwhile, the one before, the one we took before, is a lam alif one. It's bigger. The one that connects with normal letter. For example, kibrit. So this one is bigger than this one. Now, for the mid kaf, the kaf that comes in the middle, we use the sword one that we saw and let's say that we have a ba and a kaf. You go down and you immediately start going up. Now there's a very slight rotation here, very slight curve, but it's very, very slight. Then you would add the 2 dots high here, the cap. When you come back and you want to continue, you use this shape, the one that you used before, and you break it from almost a 1 point here, and you continue the word that you want to do. The important note is when you add the cap, it has to touch here. It does not sort of fuse, it balances. We also have to note that, for example, when you have a case like a meme, for example, a meme and a lam, yukmil. The meme here goes up to a lam and the lam connects to the kaf, just like the one we saw before. And then you continue it with the shape of the lam. But you have to be careful with the scaling here because this is too high, so the shape would be very short, just like this, so that the lam would also look neat. Won't be that high, but it's just to show you how that the meme comes inside. The same thing, for example, kunna, kaf nun alif. You have the kaf, the nun comes in here, very small, and here comes the alif. Now the dot for the nun would come in here. كحالهم أو كحالنا. Kaf, you've got the ha, and here comes the alif. You should practice these because they make the script look neater and nicer. You could also fit in a fa. The thing with this is that any letter that is 1 point wide could fit into this place. The fa also we talked about before is 1 point, and the noon, the nebula, is also 1 point. This one is also 1 point. So any letter that has 1 point, so for example the fa here will be done here, kifah for example. At the end, the kaf, you can either finish with the zindani. By the way, the zindani also connects from the middle sometimes. It connects just like a normal connection from here, or at the end. But the normal kaf, we have a shape, like for example this shape that you see everywhere, based on a ba. This is a kaf with the hamza. We use this at the end. So you go up 2 points, and here you are going to use the big akshida, the big ba, not the small one, the one that is 13 points, and this one. For the hamza, the shape of the hamza is this one. This is the outline. It's not like the hamza one. The hamza one is different. This one is for hamza, this one is for kaf. So hamza, kaf. There's a big difference between them, so we use this one. Or you could use the normal 4-point one, where you go up, down, and you just add a 4-point ba here. There you get a kaf. This is for the kaf letter. Now next we are going to see the lam. For the lam, we start with this decoration. Now this decoration we did not discuss properly, so you basically hold it with a 45 degrees and you go down like this. Then when you continue writing, you come from the middle, as you can see here. It's not the hardest of moves, but yeah, just in case you didn't know how to do it. And here we've got the 5 points we always talked about. You go down and you add the noon move, which we will talk about. 3 points and a curvature of 1 point. When we connect a lam, It's very simple. You use the same thing, but you connect it normally. When it comes with the meme, special case, it goes down with this meme. For example, ولما with the hat, you have this shape, or you could use this lamb. Now this lamb looks like this. Now for this one you have 3 points on the right and 1 point on the left. There's also another shape for the lamb which comes 3 points wide, and you start from here. You basically go up just like the connection we learnt in Ba, and it is 3 points high with the exact same shape as the Ba shape, this one that goes to the left. Then you continue with the hat. Now here you have a curvature, so you go up sharp, then you curve sharp to the other way, then you go back. This comes with the hat. For example, al-habl. When the lamb comes in the middle, we talked about when you go up with an alif or a lam, you curve it to the left. Then when you come back, you extrude a thin line here, then continue writing. The most important thing is the height. That comes with the same height as any alif. So this one would be 4 points, for example. At the end, lam comes 3 points high. So you have 1, 2, 3. The reason for that is because you are going to drop 2 points below here. So if you weren't careful, it would look really tall like this one here. Therefore, they do 3 points because the other side will be 5 points, as you can see. Also, when you have several lambs following a layl, for example, you have alif, lam. Now it's connected to another lamb, so here you go down sharp, then you go back up thick. You go down, and you finish it with the lamb. Talking about this, you see the shape here? Where it's thin, then it comes back thick. This we will see also in Lafz al-Jalal Allah when we talk about that. So you could practice this by making some connections. So for example, you start with a ba, go up a lam, come back, another lam, come back, another lam. So this way you could practice this connections that would look like this, because it doesn't look like the ba connected to any other letter. Finally, we are going to talk about the noon. And for the noon, we wrote it in sin, sad, lam, in those letters. But to give it a reminder, we have 2 points here, then 1 point, and it comes below the line, 3 points in the middle with 1 point below. The dot for the noon comes here. So when you put the dot for the noon, you basically search for the first third, like you have 3 thirds. The first third with leaving 1 point of height. This way you get the noon dot pretty and nice up to here. Because sometimes if you put it here or here, that would look ugly, wouldn't look nice. When it connects, for example, nahnu, takes the same rules as the ba, noon, ha, and at the end you raise it a bit, then come back down. You know how to do this because we did it in the sad and the sin. And you do these 2, 3 points of width, and this one goes down here, so noon, ha, noon, nahnu. And this is it for today's video. Let's check what we've learnt today. We started with the Zindani calf, and for this calf we learnt how big it is and what cases we will use it for. note about when it connects to something that is going downward, like these letters. Then we move to the Safi, where it connects to the majority of the letters, and you will see a lot in the Quran. Then a special case when it connects to the letter that goes high, like the Alif and the Lam, or the Kaf. Now, with all these cases, you have to distinguish between this one, because it's small, and this one, because it's based on a Lam Alif. So here, Dal, here, Lam Alif. Then we saw how it looks like in the middle, where you have to go straight to the left, and how sometimes it can contain a letter inside of it. Then we talked about how it looks like in the end, and the difference between the two hamzat, the one for the kaf and the one for the alif, and the shapes of the kafs. Finally, we talked about the noon, but before that we mentioned the lam to see how it looks like. This shape is important, you have to memorize it. How it looks in the middle is also important, because sometimes it's a bit confusing. For a homework, we could write the same words we wrote. So we will write kifah, kaf, you go down and you start with the fa here. Then you go immediately upward, and you add the kaf here. As you can see how this connects very sharp. The fa you could either put here or up here, so let's make it here to make it like really sort of congested here. And we add the ha. Let's try نحن, noon, ha. The nice about نحن is that you practice the noon at the beginning, the ha, which is a relatively hard letter and it comes a lot, and you could also practice the noon at the end. The noon is one of the most important letters to learn in Arabic calligraphy, because this shape comes in like a lot of letters, so it's never a bad thing to practice the noon. And you could also practice the kaf, zindani and other letters. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one. This has been Ammar Awadi, and have a nice day. Goodbye.